Hello students, this is Anjana from Computer Science Department. In this class we are going to discuss about the few topic related to the key management and distribution. Okay. Now let us see what is the key management distribution. Key distribution is the function that delivers a key to the two parties who wish to exchange the secure encrypted data. See, whenever the two parties, whenever they want to send, they want to exchange some sort of data between them. So whenever if they wants to exchange the data, it has to distribute the key for a security purpose, such that key distribution is a function that delivers a key to the two parties to wish to exchange the secure encrypted data. So if it is some sort of mechanism or a protocol which is needed to provide for some secure distribution of keys. So in order to provide the secure distribution for the keys, we have to provide the key distribution function, so that the key distribution involves that here we are, how we are going to use the master keys, which are infrequently used and are long lasting, and the session keys which are generated and distributed for temporary use between two parties. So see, here basically only to provide the security. Here if the two parties, whatever the parties may be, here sender or receiver wants to communicate the data between them. So in order to provide the security for that data, whatever the data is sending, in order to provide the security for that data, the sender or the receiver at the both side, they have to generate the key. So then how we are going to generate that key, and how we are going to manage that key, and how that key is distributed between these two parties, let us see. So first of all, you have to deliver the key to the two parties which they already wish that they need to generate a key for that secured encrypted data. So our data is already securely encrypted. So with that key itself, we have to decrypt that data. Okay. So for that reason, the some sort of mechanism or protocol is needed to provide for the secure distribution of keys. So first of all, we have to do the key distribution. Often it involves the use of master keys, which are infrequently used. Those are not frequently. We have to first of all, the main thing that you have to keep it on mind is you have to generate the key which is not frequently used. So it is in you have to use the key which is infrequently used. Okay, so such that even the key distribution often involves that even if they are going to use the master keys which are infrequently used and are long lasting, and the session keys which are generated and distributed for the temporary use between the two parties. Okay, these two parties has to use the temporary use. It may not use permanently for that case. Whatever the key has generated, it should be used uh, temporarily. Okay, it should not be used permanently, and the key what is generated, it should not be used frequently. Okay, these are the two things that you have to keep it on mind. So now let us see about the symmetric key distribution using the symmetric encryption. See, in symmetric, now let us see what is the concept called the symmetric encryption. So, in symmetric encryption, two parties to an exchange must share the same key, and that key must be protected from the access by the other. So, here the two parties, both the sender and receiver, are going to generate the same key, and that this key must be protected from the access by the others, such that here we are using the technique called key distribution technique, and it is a term that refers to the means of delivering a key to the two parties to wish to the exchange the data without allowing to others to see. Here we are going to generate the key such that we are not going to allow the others to see that particular key. So here inside in both side the two parties, here in the encryption, the two parties to an exchange must share the same key. So here at the sender side and the receiver side, at the both side, the sender and receiver has to exchange the same key, and that key must be protected from access by the others. So the key distribution technique is a term. Basically, it refers, whatever it refers means, it refers to means of delivering a key. So whenever if you are going to deliver a key, that key is whenever you are going to deliver a key between the two parties, you have to exchange that data. While you are generating the key also, along with generating the key, you have to exchange the data without you. The basic thing is we should not allow the others to see that key. Okay, if somebody see that key means definitely you can damn surely say that our data definitely will is going to theft by someone. So that key should not be seen by the others. Okay, whenever you are going to distribute the key in that key distribution technique, uh, basically it refers to the delivering the key to the two parties. uh, when those two parties are wish to exchange the data between, so that without allowing the others to see that key. So suppose if we have considered that if we are having the two parties A and B, the key distribution can be achieved in a number of ways as follows. See, here how the key is going to distribute. See, suppose if A can select a key and physically deliver it to the B. So suppose if we have considered that A is the sender and B is the receiver. So if A can select the key and physically, definitely it will deliver to the B. And next one, a third party can select the key physically uh, and deliver it to both A and B. Okay. Who is the third party is can select that key and it deliver to the A and B. And next one is if A and B have the previously recently used a key, one party can transmit the new key to the other. So party A can transmit the new suppose if the party A has generated a key. So if that party A wants to send that data to the party B, so party A suppose if A and B are previously recently used that key, then either of the parties can use that key and it can transmit the new key to the other. Okay, either A can use that key or B can use that key, uh, and the next whatever the next key is used by others can be generated. Okay, and it is also encrypted by using the old key. Okay, if suppose A is using the old key, then it is encrypted by using that old key itself. Okay, and next one, if A and B each has encrypted connection to a third party C, then C can deliver a key on the encrypted links to both A and B. Okay, next one. So if you have observed this key distribution center, the use of the key distribution center is based upon the use of hierarchy of keys. So hierarchical, it should have the hierarchical relationship between them. You have already know what is the hierarchical relation. If one is depending upon the other, then we can say that both are in hierarchical relationship. Okay. So the use of the key distribution center is mainly based upon the use of hierarchy of the keys. At minimum, two level keys are used. Here we are going to use the two level keys. Here the communication between the end systems is encrypted by using the temporary key, often referred to as the session key. So typically the session key is used for the duration of a logical connection and then discarded. So the master key is shared by the key distribution center and an end system or user, and user use it to encrypt the session key. So here in this key distribution centers, so one is based upon the use of hierarchy of the keys. So at minimum the two level of keys are used. Okay, we have to use these two level keys. First one is we have to prove that the communication between the end systems is encrypted using the temporary key, and often it is referred to as a session key. And it is typically the session key is used for the duration of the logical connection, and then automatically it will be discarded. So the master key here, whatever the master key, that master key is shared by the key distribution center and an end system or the user and use it to encrypt the session key. Okay, so now let us see what is the key distribution scenario. So if we are going to assume that the user A wishes to establish the logical connection between A and B, and requires one-time session key to protect the data transmitted over the connection. So if A has a master key known only itself, and similarly B shares the master key with the key distribution scenario. Okay, key distribution center. So if it has done, what are the steps that we are going to occur? Let us see. So if you have observed, this is the key distribution. So from this key distribution center, it is going to distribute the key. So if you have observed this one, from this this is initiator. Initiator means the person who is going to send the message. Responder means the person who is going to receive the message here. So initiator is going to request a new key for that key distribution center. Here this is the data A, data B, and for that we have added something. So for the data A, data B, and for that we have generated a key, and next one for the data A also we have generated a key. We can for all and this all the data is encrypted, and it is going to send to the initiator A. So after sending data to the initiator has to send that encrypted data to the responder. Here if you have observed in this figure, here the responder B is going to send the another data which is encrypted by this responder. Okay, and next one here, this is the authentication steps. Here one data is sent here, and next sort of data is sent here. Okay, if you have observed the step, this is the first step, this is the second step, and this is the third step, and this is the fourth step, and this is the fifth step. Here in this key distribution scenario, we are going to follow these 5 kinds of steps. First step, second step, third step, fourth step, and fifth step. Okay, in this key distribution scenario we are going to follow these 5 kinds of steps. Now let us see how we are going to follow these steps in detail. So this is first step that we are going to follow. So issues a request to the key distribution center for a session key to protect a logical connection to the key to B. So the message includes the identity of A and B and a unique identifier N1 for this transaction, which we refer to as nonce. So the nonce may be a timestamp, a counter, or a random number. So the minimum requirement is that it differs with each request. So if you have observed, A is a device which is going to request the key distribution is going to request the key for the key distribution center for a session key. Okay, to generate a session key, it is going to request the key for the key distribution center. So to protect a logical connection between these two, this A and B. Okay, so what this message includes? The message includes identity of A, identity of B, and unique identification number, unique identifier N1. So if you have observed this message, so what that message include? To identify this ID means identification of A, and this is identification of B, and N1 is the unique identifier. Okay, N1 is a unique identifier for this transaction, for this transfer between A to B, for this transaction which we refer to as nonce. So the nonce may be a timestamp. sometimes it may be a timestamp, or it may be a counter, or it may be a random number, just like that. The minimum requirement is that it differs with each request. How many times that we are going to request, that many times it is going to differ. So if you have observed this one, here we are having unique identification at the unique identity at the A side, okay, and again at the B side also we are having some identity. And next one, here another thing is we are having this unique identification number, which is represented as N1. And next, for this whatever the transaction it is, for this transaction which we refer to as a nonce. So the nonce sometimes we can define by using this term as nonce. Okay, this is simply a term. So why? Because here at the sender side and receiver side we are going to generate this unique number, unique identity. Means if it sender is having this identity which is not related to the receiver B, such that whenever a data is sending between these two, that may cause because of this it does not have any it does not raise any ambiguity that which kind of data has sent to that particular receiver, just like that. So here if you have observed that figure, in that figure we are having the first step is basically the main basic first thing is uh, you have to send that unique identity A, unique identity B, and some identification number N1 to the B. So we can say it as an encrypted number, and I have to check and we have to check ourselves whether it is sending the data correctly or not. Okay, by applying these rules we can definitely select that it is going to be applied very easily. Okay, next one. So if key determinant center uh, what are the keys generate that center response with the message encrypted using the KA. Thus A is only the A is only one. A is a basic thing. One it can successfully read the message. Okay, why? Because it is going to successfully read the message. It can read the message, and basically A knows automatically. A knows that it ignored at the key distribution center. Okay, definitely if it is not a correct message or right message to send, then definitely it basically from the starting itself it is going to ignore at the key distribution center. Okay, next one. So A is only one who can send the message and read the message, and A knows that A oriented at one who the message includes two times it is more than intended for A. So the one time session message including the announce such that it is going to enable the A to match this response with the appropriate request. So to match this response with the appropriate request, we are going to add the message which includes the items intended for B. So the one item that is going to intend for B is so to establish the connection and the proves the A identity. So to establish the A's connection to prove the A identity, we are going to use it. So these last two items, basically we are having some items. These two last items are going to encrypted with this key, and the master key the master key that is derived at the key definition center, it is going to share with B. So there are to be sent to B, which is going to establish the connection to prove the A's identity. Okay. In order to prove the identity of A, it is going to connect the establishment between the A and B. Okay. So if you go for the next slide, here in this third step, here at the sender side, A stores the session key for use in the upcoming sessions. It is going to use that key, and for forwards to be the information that is originated at the key definition center. So if you have observed that one, it is protected from the eavesdropping, so not the session key. So it is going to resemble that it is going to resemble the cause, whatever the, because it is encrypted by using the it is going to encrypted by using this key that is at the receiver side, that is at the B. So here whatever the data we are using the newly minted session key for the encryption. So B sends at the non-send to do that favor very easily, and it may cause a easily task. So we can also use we can also use it as k response with where the function f, where f is the function that performs the some transformation on n2. So it is a information originated at the key distribution center. Okay, at the key distribution center is going, whenever if you are having this kinds of key distribution center, it is going to do the rule. Okay, if somebody is not, definitely it may be transferred to the other side. Okay, so here from this we can say that here at the third step, A stores the session key for the use in the upcoming session, and it is it forwards to the B. And next, the information that originated at the key distribution center for B, namely such that that is the key that we have generated, and because of this encrypted image, because of this encrypted data, it is going to know that the information originated at the key distribution center is encrypted using this another key that is going to generated by B. So we don't going to see that we doesn't need any consequences here. So using the newly minted session key for the encryption, B sends a n1's n2 to the A, so such that along with using KS, A responds with n2, where f is the function that performs the some transformation on n2. Okay, this is the about this topic. In the next class, we will discuss about the next topic. Okay.